Now, if you are traveling to Las Vegas soon, you might be wondering about the mask situation. Welcome back to the Midlife Ride. My name is Chris.
And I'm Catherine.
And we are once again back in Las Vegas, this time in October of 2021. And it seems like every time we come here, and we've been coming back since August of 2020, it seems like every time we have to do another update video. Everything seems to change so much with every single trip. So we just wanted to tell you all what we've been seeing on this particular trip.
There are still several restaurants operating on limited hours and limited days. So you still want to make sure that you confirm with the restaurant directly if you are interested in going there. Reservations are not required at a lot of places, but they are highly recommended. We have noticed large crowds inside and outside of restaurants. So if you have places that you really want to go to, be sure to make a reservation if they are available. You can always cancel within probably 24 hours notice. We've done that several times on this trip. I made tons of reservations beforehand, and as our plans change, we've just canceled the reservations within 24 hours, no problem. So just be aware, there are still limitations with restaurants, and you may just find that your favorite restaurant is no longer here. We have seen several that have been shut down for good, completely cleared out. So don't be surprised if you see the same.
Now, for a long time, for about a year, transportation has been a hot topic here in Vegas. There was a time when it was really hard for some people to get a Lyft or an Uber. Taxis switched to flat rates when the pandemic started and Vegas first reopened. Now it's not so much of an issue. Sometimes you will see some surge pricing come into effect if you're using rideshare. But what we would say right now is don't be afraid to switch it up. If a taxi works better for you, use a taxi. If you find a Lyft really cheap, use that. If the bus, like the Deuce, gets you from the Strip to Fremont, go for that too. Transportation is pretty much wide open again.
Now, most of you have probably already heard that MGM has entered an agreement to take over operations at the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas. Now, what that means is unclear. This will have implications for Marriott Bonvoy members who currently receive perks here at the Cosmopolitan. MGM partners with World of Hyatt, so likely Marriott Bonvoy perks will disappear when this transaction takes place. The transaction won't close until sometime in the beginning of 2022. So it's probably going to be a lot of speculation until then. But what we can probably guess is that the identity program is going to disappear. It's going to be replaced with the MLife program, which, if you aren't aware, is currently undergoing changes. 2 casinos have already seen those changes on October 4th. They are not here on the Las Vegas Strip. We will see changes here to the MLife program beginning in November. How our identity points and tier level is going to translate over to MLife is not something that we have been able to get information on from any employee of MGM or at the Cosmopolitan. They are all just waiting like we are to find out what's going to happen with the rewards program.
Now, if you are traveling to Las Vegas soon, you might be wondering about the mask situation. And in the state of Nevada, right now, you are required to wear masks when you are indoors. And it doesn't matter what your vaccination status is. So if you're traveling here, expect to wear a mask. What we will say, the biggest difference between August of last year and now is that the casinos are not heavily focused on making you wear your mask. For example, back in August of last year, when things first reopened, you could barely take a sip without a casino employee walking by telling you to put your mask on. Now, most people are in compliance. I mean, you still see a few here and there walking around without a mask on indoors, but for the most part, people have them on, but one thing I can definitely tell you is that you do not see casino employees focus on policing that. So that's something to think about. If you still have a problem with wearing a mask when you come to Vegas, you might want to wait and see what happens. But for now, there doesn't appear to be an end in sight of that mandate.
It does seem like staffing levels at the hotels and on the Strip have increased. Now, the reason we think that is because all 3 of our rooms on this trip were clean. That's number 1. Number 2, we have noticed many more workers doing things we haven't noticed in the past, like cleaning the floors in the elevators or the carpets in the hallways. There seem to be many more workers around doing the things you would expect need to be done to keep the hotels clean and in working order.
This is not new news, but crowds have been back in Vegas for a while. What continues to change is the type of crowd. What you're starting to see now are many more business travelers. See a lot of lanyards for the convention and conference crowd. We are seeing lots of those. And for this week we were here in October 2021, you are seeing packed casinos. Not so much out on the Strip. The sidewalks are still manageable, but inside the casinos, they have been really crowded. And if you're wondering if it's just subjective or objective, the Cosmo reported that in the second quarter of 2021, their traffic exceeded that of pre-COVID levels. It is very crowded here in Vegas right now. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little notification bell so that you know every time we release a new video. And we will see you on the next episode of the Midlife Ride.